Hi there, welcome to another part of the wagon tutorial. We are going, hold on a second, we are going, come on, okay, Boop. We are going to go, where did we put it? Was it at the bottom? Let me quickly checking. I will see, maybe I'm going to update the file also. I will see in the end of the session. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to, no, where did we do the match? Where did we do that? Didn't we do that? Where is the list where we say what we're going to do? Blah, 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 blah. No, it's not here. Did I put it in the text message? I thought I had somewhere written blah 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 blah. Ah, yeah, here. All goals. Have a characterized animal. That is the first. That is this one. Have a tool, wagon, attached to the animal. That part is what we're gonna do now. Okay? So don't take the guide, it's not in there. We're gonna completely do it together. Okay? So, that can close. We're going to create a quick landscape for testing purposes. I would say go quickly to the marketplace and get your Brushify Arctic pack. It's the free of the month content landscape tool. Then as you're following along, you now have also the free of the month. So for people following next month, they need to look or use a simple texture like grass or whatever, you know, just to have a landscape to do the testings on. Okay, so open up the project. We were here. This is where we ended. This is normally, if you're following along, what we will have now. Okay, so we have the horse, we have the, I'm not gonna press play because it's working. So we can mount, this is the mounting. And what we're now going to do, you go to File, New Level, give it a name, directly save it somewhere that you know where you need to be. I created one over here. I'm gonna keep this one. Like you see here, so hold on, I'm gonna quickly put it some faster. Then just do zip and go a little bit in the air, fly high by, voila. Just create a funky, simple funky landscape. Just to do some testings. I put some ramps when I was testing the physics of the wagon, so you can do the same. Put some ramps where you just put your wagon or the equipment you want to see that it's rolling and the suspensions are doing, basically that everything sticks together when it's going down. Okay, then we go here. So we are going to focus on this one. This one, that one will be the same logic. Can be going to include this also during these sessions. I will see, because it's for testing purposes only. You can use it in your game if you want, but then you need to export it back and redo some meshes, the front mesh, for example here. But what I'm going to do, like here, we have the well. It comes in two versions. Yeah, okay, this trailer is now visible, but it comes in two versions. You can follow along basically also if you just want to have a tool connected to the player, for example, so then you can also follow along. It's not specially for connecting to the horse, but it's the same logic. Okay, I'm gonna pull aside. Yep, that I'm gonna pull aside. I'm gonna press the play button. So we started off that we can get on, right, get off. Huh? That is where we normally started. Some of you maybe fine-tuned the animations already or so, but that we didn't do. We just managed to get off, play the mounting animation, riding animation, and the dismount animation. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up. Then we're gonna focus on why I took the, but never mind. F2 I used, so this is what we're gonna do. You see? It's attached, it's rolling. Okay, now the stick is doing crazy thing because I forgot to disable that. So this is what we do. We unhook it, voila, and it crashed. This, okay, we have some errors, and the errors I'm gonna show you are basically complaining something about the joints. He's complaining something about the joints. So creating the same body, VV blah 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 blah. Okay, so that is basically Ue4 Rs BP3. That's the wagon. That's the wagon. I'm going, so if everybody created the landscape very quick, that we are on the same level with the test ground, that we can have some play around with the wagons. Later on we can put some real circuit, for example, to do physics testing or something, but that is it for now. Go into your master blueprint animal. This is the master, so normally you had to create a child. What we're now going to do, take the child and create a child blueprint class out of it and call it master combination. Okay? Why I'm doing it like this? Because you already have the horse set up. Otherwise you need to completely start from scratch, setting up the horse, the animation blueprint and everything. So and it's good to start with master blueprints and then create child from there. Okay, that is a good way in learning. The overall functionality, the overall variables you put in the master, the child maybe have some other variables, other functionalities in it that is only for the child classes, for example. So that is how you build your tree structure of your parent-child related blueprint structures. Okay, so we create that master combination. Voila. then I'm gonna drag it on the other side. Yeah, I work with 3 screens normally, so okay. We, like you see, I'm gonna maybe open this quick one, just quick to verify, because okay, that is good. So all the variables sits, like I say, in the master. So here we have all the variables that is belonging to the master passing through to the child. Okay, so now the master combine. We're gonna start with adding some variables quickly, then we're going to add the functions, and then I go quick check on the character itself, but I don't think I'm doing something on the character. For those who are following along and are not using the animal, everything that is done now needs to be done on the character you wish to be using for picking up or grabbing or connecting, attaching items to. So if you want to have it on your character, then you need to take your master character blueprint. If you want to take it on an animal, then you need to take that animal to be the master item in pooling. So the character where you want to pool something with. I think that is the best way to explain it. Okay? Okay, we're going to start adding a distance that is, if I'm not mistaken, distance for the line trace. No, we will see, but yeah, maybe it's not used. Hold on. Yeah, it's used. Need to check, get distance. Yeah, okay, we will see in the code, but make those. If you don't use them, we delete it in the end. Okay, so distance, the float, I gave it a default of 25. Then we need to set a constraint of physics constraint actor. Okay, then the trace distance also. I don't think I'm using the distance, I'm using the trace distance, but okay. So trace distance default value 500, has attachment, the boolean, and then a vector location, not location. Okay, create those, then create 8, 1, 2, 3. This one not. This is just testing stuff. Trace 3 functions: trace objects, grab object, and drop object. Okay, create those. Then this one is a static mesh component. So on your mesh, add a component, static mesh component, call it hitch, v-hitch, or that is the hitching. Call it whatever you want, that you know for yourself what name you gave it. Then position it a little bit, like I did. We're going to do that in a while when we're visualizing it over here. So put it in the same way. Then on this one you need to have a constraint. This one, the physics constraint. Call it grab constraint or touch constraint or hitch constraint or what you think is best. Always use your own words for building your stuff so you know what you're doing, okay? Then, that is that. This one we don't need. Then we're going to go this one first. Let me quickly go through it. Distance. Oh yeah. You can to play around with the distance. I created a quick mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down distance. When you do the mouse wheel up, you will add 25 through the distance. You print it out, which value you got, and when you do mouse wheel down, you subtract and do the same 25. So that is just, you can do it also for the trace distance or whatever if you want to adjust it during gameplay maybe until you have the final line trace value, and then you can then here this can go out if we don't need. Then this one can go out, we don't need working code. This one we need. Okay, we're going to start. I'm using numpad number 2 to do the hitching, but if you want to make it automatically, for example, you can also include a trigger box or use the trigger box. Maybe this one not because it's on the side, but you can maybe make or you can make it advance from the attachment and then cast it to the person, to the horse, or. But we're gonna do it simple. How you're gonna do it in the end here, what you're going to put in front, it's up to you. But we're going to start with number 2 pressed. Then we're going to go to is valid. That is the one with the is valid. There, yeah, and when you need it, then it's normally the one with the question mark. And where is it now? Where he is. When you need him, then he is gone. Where is he? Oh, come on. Is valid. Where is he? This one. Okay, that's the one we need. Yeah, can be tricky sometimes. Then I go into a print just to see, always do the debugging. Okay, then when it's valid, so that is basically when we're holding object, or we got the object attached, we're going to drop it. When it's not valid, we are able to grab something. We're going to do the line trace. When we have a correct hit value, we're going into a branch. We're going to grab it. It falls, we just reset that we don't have the attachment. So that is this part. Compile and save. Then we're gonna first do the drop. So the drop needs nothing. The drop has attachment. Holding B, press connected. Take your grab constraint. Then from there do break constraint. From there we're gonna reset the collision. So set collision response to channel. We're gonna set it on pound, and we're gonna set it to block. And we're gonna use the attach it object. Where did I put that one? Yeah, that is a current primitive component. Wow, did I do it? Make current. Hold on, I need to check how I did this. Hold on. Attach it object. Where is he coming? Grab. Am I forgetting something? No. Okay. So this. Hold on, I need to see how I did it. Otherwise, yeah. Alright. Damn it, man. Was it? Make. Come on. That is stupid. How did I do this? Get primitive. This one? No. Damn it. Okay, I need to check how I came to that. Because I didn't create a variable. Okay, hold on with this. So, oh yeah, no. But where is it? Attached object. So basically, attached object. Hold on, I think I did something. I can do that here. Hold on. No. So yeah, so I suppose. Where in the hell is he? There he is. Okay, so we create that variable. So a primitive component. Okay, I overlooked that. And we also need to have this one. Oh, it's basically the same. Okay, so you will see where I did this. Hold on. So this one we already need to have a variable. New name. I'm gonna do the same. Primitive component object reference. That is what we did. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah, still early in the morning. Okay, then we set it to nothing because we're dropping it. We're setting the has attachment back to we don't have to false. Then I'm doing this, and it's basically resetting this. I noticed that when I did touch, that because I keep it visible at the moment, the cube was not in the correct position, making it the next time we connect something, it was out of direction. So we take the local location and we take the VH, okay? Compile and save. Then we're going to go first to the line trace objects. I'm tracing from the hitch. I'm basically tracing from the hitch that the hitches needs to be on the same level, because I don't know why, but when I use the camera, use forward vector, he goes backwards, he goes all kinds of directions I don't want. Like sometimes mounting, he mounts, he don't mount, and he's doing the line trace. The line trace just goes through it, or is not taking the correct spot or whatever. So I took now the hitch as the base to start the tracing. This is just the regular thing. I'm going to trace this time not by channel, I'm going to do it for objects. So we start line trace for objects, then we take the hitch, we get first the world location and the forward vector. The world location will go directly in the start. Then from the get forward vector we all times float taking the trace distance. Then we from the get world we do a plus vector vector. We connect the value to the B pin, the get world to the A pin, and the result to the end. Then the object types we want to have, you can do it whatever you want. So we're going for the physics bodies. I'm going to do this just for duration now, otherwise it keeps on doing that. Do the same. On the return nodes we need to have a hit result of type hit result, a false true, boolean. Then we connect the hit result and we connect the return value, connect the execution pin, and then we have the trace objects functionality. Okay, that is going to close now, and now we're going to go to the grab. So the grab need to have an input of the hit result. Then once we have that, you can also put this in, but leave it like this. I think it's better. So grab. Hold on, did I? Grab? No, the line trace. Did I do? No. I need to control because grab object only gives the hit result. Needs the hit result, and it comes from the line trace. It's correct what I'm saying. Comes from the line trace object. Here it does it. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So the grab object. I was just checking where I do the check of the value. Then grab object. Break the hit result. Then hit component trace it object, that is this one. So you can do like promote to variable, give it a name. That is how I did it. That's how I remember. Then from the hit component, get world location. That is, you can also do like create variable. You can do it. It's not necessary, but if you want, you can do it. Then once we set it, we're gonna drag in the hitch. We're gonna set the world location. So the target is our hitch. The new location is coming from hit component world location. We're gonna teleport. Then from here again take the hitch, take the constraint. And then we're going to do set constrained components, but I think you need to drag it from here. Set, because that was a constraint. Voila, we need to, I think if you do, yeah, you can do it like that. So this one, I think that one. Then on this one, the first component will be the animal, this one. Then we're going to take the hit component as component 2, and the bone name he is detecting as bone name. Then this part was not doing what I want to do, so that we delete. Then that we will move back closer. You see, I just did code yesterday, and then we're gonna set the collision back. We're gonna take that attachment because I created attachments. I forgot one special thing because yeah, I told it yesterday in the overview, but or in the previous, but we're gonna do it directly after this. Now we have the functionality set up on the horse. We need to go over the details. So what we're going to do is take the target is our hit trace, hit component trace. So basically I created a variable for that. That is our target. We're gonna use the channel attachment. So I created, when you go to collision, I created some object channels to not interfere with the rest. We have the wheels, a body, attachment, and the animal for now. Okay. Then we're gonna set the attached object, and we're gonna set has attachment to true. That is what we're doing on the grab function. Sorry. Then, like I say, the project settings, that's all I did here. The master combination is now as functionality done. So yeah, that is done. We now need to be very careful, because if I'm going to oversee this, we will have problems later on, and before you find that, it can take a while, like for me. Yesterday during testing I did something and all of a sudden, and it was working, everything was working, but it has to do with the collision or something. All of a sudden the horse goes in the air, the trailer goes in the air. It's the biggest jump you ever seen. So we are going to go this we add we don't need to see the visualization. We got the name, it's movable. We connected a cube, give it a value. I assigned a yellow material to it. Doesn't have physics. We're using a custom collision, so custom. We're gonna set the object type to attachment. Yeah, attachments. And we're going to ignore all. This is how I set it up. Rendering for the moment I leave visible, but normally hidden in game. but for the setup we are doing, I didn't create any vents on this one. Okay, so this is the details for the hitch. Static mesh. Now we're going to go to the constraint that is a child of the static mesh. It's constraint, movable. I didn't parented it. It's visible. Okay. Then here, like you see, I'm not setting anything here because this is what we do in the code. Huh? We are doing that. Hold on. In this one. That. Hold on. This one is this. Component 1, 2, 2, and then the bones. Okay? That is what we got there. Zip. Here I didn't change anything, so I didn't test anything here, not in none of the things. So once I go into the further testing, I will do. The linear limits, it's set to 3, 3, 3. Then the angular ones, we lock all. The linear I enabled, give it a value of 1000, and the strength for the velocity, the position 1000, and the strength of the velocity is 100. Then I enabled twist and swing, I see, put it 1000, 5000. We will play with these numbers later on, but for now this is what I got that was working correctly. It's not for the trailer, not completely okay, because I want to really have it sit in the correct position the whole time, and it's still not doing it. But yeah, it's okay for the moment. Just for the moment, it's okay. We are focusing on the connection, that everything sticks together. Okay. So that will be for our details of the things we add. Okay. So compile. What I'm now going to do is going to focus first on the wow. That will be this one. What did we do in the code? We didn't do anything in the code. Yeah, this is just something I set up, but I don't think I'm using it. This I'm using, that is just a visualization of that. So we are going to focus on this one, huh? Okay, and we did this one. This one we added. So this is basically the handle we are using for this one. And I'm going to do quickly the same to do the wagon. The wagon, same here, no coding inside the wagon. Viewport. Yeah, this is the hitch for the wagon. So the wagon is set up a little bit different. So on my rotating arm, this one, so I connected it not to the frame, but I connected it to the arm. Again, static mesh component and a physics constraint component. Here it goes terribly wrong. I had the physics on. Yesterday, during testing, clicking and forgetting what you clicked. So pretty important, it seems, that this stays off, and we do the same collision, physics body, and yeah, you see on this one I have the tracing for the trace channel. So yep, that is all for that. And normally the hitch is set up the same as in the, so this is what we need to do. Wow, this one is the hitch and the other one is not. Here we have the rotating arm to the hitch. That is for this one. Okay, that is the wagon configuration. And here you see, here we don't do anything. Okay, compile and save. Then I think we're done. No, we're not. Oh, because I was working on the trailer before, I have the B is attached and trace it actor. Those values, and that is pointing to the master combine thing. Let me quickly see the construction script, the event. So leave everything like it is, because when we work further, then maybe you're missing things. Okay? And in the end, what we don't need, we delete. So here, basically, we only add the static mesh and the physics constraint. Then that was also done. Now drag in, as we're working on the well, drag in the well, drag in your horse. Okay, and normally you can also go in your blueprint and then reference in the level blueprint and reference it and then take possession of those horses. I also did it for one, for this one, but not for this one. So we're going to just get on, and so hold on. Yeah, I know. Now this one, that is what we need. Okay, voila. So why I put that trailer very far is basically because that is another one, and like I say, we are not using bones, we are using sockets on the models, but I'm not using them. I defined them, but I didn't use them because I had some issues. So here we go. We go on the horse, we press M to mount or E to mount, it depends on what you're doing. We are now pressing numpad 2. He goes, and I want to see something. Did I forget something? And that will be over here, and that will be teleport. Yeah, okay, teleport is good. So he is taking it. What we can do now, what I was thinking, maybe, I don't know if it's going to work, but what I was thinking, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, was it in here? Was it in here? Was it called like that? Yeah, this one. I was thinking maybe add this to to the attachments, not the wagons, but the work tools, the farming tools, the plow, edge, the well, and then make it like go here and maybe build like a harness around the horse or something in the end. Okay, so now when we do this normally, I'm going oh yeah, I had the camera forward and upside. Okay, we're moving, you see, we are attaching. Okay, we need to play with the weight and we need to play with other things maybe, because we didn't set any weights at the moment, huh? So we're focusing, you see the model stays together pretty good. Okay, he got some suspension on the, but yeah, normally you're not going 60 miles an hour when you're doing this kind of work. So what we can do is maybe limited the walk speed, so you only walk, for example. Then when you press button 2 again, you will disconnect. Okay, then yeehaw. Oh, terrible, oh, bad horse, we need to sell it. We cannot jump. I lower the jump velocity. So now I'm gonna do, normally it's okay, this one also. So normally when you have your trailer set up the same way, and that is where it comes, where I want to have it better. You see? In this instance, he is lifting it. That problem I got also yesterday when with the well, so that is something I need to figure out. It's lifting it. So we need to do something with the attachment that he lowers it. Okay? But we are attached at the moment. And thinking I'm gonna drive it like this. So we are attached, and this is what I don't want. You see, this is what the values I need to figure out. And normally I would start the tutorial once I got more, but I was thinking if I can share this already, so that we're connecting, so we are the same. We are disconnected. Now this one I also did, so everything needs to just be the physical body. And this one has nothing. You see, this one is just a cube, set the collision, set the physics and the collision settings, okay. And this is basically what we need. That he is not jiggling around. So, but yeah, we need to do more testings, to do more. And there he goes. What we can do now, maybe, and we're going to focus maybe on the well, just to see what happens when we do those things. Yeah, and this keeps on jaggering, it's the same. So why he is doing that is he is trying to create a joint to the same body, the hitch. So basically this one is attempting to create a joint to the same body. And that is on the wagon. And he's complaining about this one. Why is he doing that? If I switch this back to the frame, if I switch this back to the frame, then I think he will do the same. I was testing it yesterday because I got it. I don't know why he does it, but I got it yesterday also. my wagon goes. Whoa. Whoa. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try this at home. Yeah, we need to figure it out. Okay, so here we mount, we attach. Okay, so this. Now for this, it's doing that. I owned horses myself for hobby. Ponies, Welsh ponies. I got, and we were doing basically in the beginning the same before we had the money to buy a tractor. We were using the ponies, and we put like a sled behind it, or to spread the shit, you know. But it's doing that, believe me. If the horse goes wild, the attachment goes wild also. It's not staying behind the horse, okay? Yep, escape back. Yeah. Go to the other screen. Go to the other screen. We don't need you over here. This I'm not gonna focus on because this I'm gonna focus on. What can we do? We didn't do any weights. Weight in the sense of mass. Here we don't need to do mass. Here we don't need to do mass. I was doing some tests in the test environment by changing those numbers. This is our frame where everything is connected to. Yeah? This is our frame. This is the one that is connected. And what I saw I put it on 20 kilos. $500 kilos. No collision. Horse handle. Block all dynamic. And that is the other one. Okay, so I put that on 3. So if we now give some more weight, it's iron. Well, it will not be 50, but depending on the type of iron. Make this 40. Make the well, that is normally the heaviest point of this system. Yeah, 1000 will never be, because then you cannot pull that. 500 is normally enough, but okay. Make it 750 max. I want to have it realistic, so this is basically a model I got standing in the driveway. This is normally concrete, but I made it iron. Okay, we're gonna test it like this. And then I'm gonna stop, because otherwise the video will be too long. F11, Alt-P, fall down out of the sky, and see what we're doing now. Okay, what I already see, you see, the model is deforming. Okay, the model is deforming, so that will mean we change the way the springs and the constraints are affected. Then we need to, we need to really go do a lot of testing. It doesn't matter, right? I even think he's lifting it because my wheel is not turning anymore. But now he's turning because we're going downhill. No, he's not really touching. Seems he flies in the air. Seems he flies in the air. Again? Yeah, I know. Stop talking about those. I will figure that out later. F11. So by doing this, we get more force. The suspension. First of all, the suspension. No, I'm gonna put that very low. I don't want. Limited it. If you're gonna limit it, and we limited it also to 10, for example. Everything to 10. Leave this for the moment like this, just to see. And now I have more. By doing this, now I also have those maps. By doing what we are doing now, we all of a sudden get that. First of all, both static. They are not static. They are not static. Wow. It's not static. And it's also not static. That I don't understand what he's meaning with static. No joint created. And he's talking about the wheel, the suspension, so basically all the constraints, by just changing the value. Okay, yeah, never mind. I will check that on the internet, on the forums, why he's doing that. Or some of you guys know the better reason why is he doing that. So okay, we changed some values. Now, idiot, you are standing too far. Then take this horse. So, yeah. Really? 3, 5? No, let me touch it back. Now you did something I don't like. Okay, well, Here he goes. Ooh, no, 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 this is not good. Yeah, I know. And now you're only complaining about. So the arrows are really jumping like hell. Now he's only complaining about the wagon. Okay, we need to mount, trace, connect, and I don't see him turn. No, he's not turning. He's not turning anymore. Well, this sticks better. No, it's not better. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna reset it back. I change suspension. I think we need to more linear. We don't need to touch. I really think we need to lock the angle or something. But why is he not turning anymore now? That was 20. That was 20. No, it's not turning anymore. What did we do? And even not if we are going up. Hold on, huh? No, the wheel is not turning anymore. So by doing what we are doing, we broke it. We broke it. Put everything back. 500. Didn't change. We didn't do anything. What? I changed something else. 40, that was 20. Yeah. Why is the wheel not spinning anymore? Oh yeah, I didn't change anything on that side. Options. No, he is completely not moving anymore. And he's going. Oh, that is not good. This is not good. Why? Why he stopped turning? Why he stopped turning? Yep, he stopped turning. He didn't do anything about. I'm gonna go back. Okay. We're rolling again. He is rolling again. We're going together again over the wow, yeah, that's correct. We didn't do anything. Still only fall. We've changed the suspension. We were doing something with the suspension. What is changing? Limited. Everything free. Oh yeah, we locked it. We locked it. And we limited it. That's why it was not turning anymore. No, it's still turning. Yeah, sometimes you really have some stupid behaviors when you're doing this. No, now he's limited, you see? Now he's limited. Yep, he's limited, look. Yep, and he stops. Yeah. Okay. Limited, so that was not the good. This one, no. This one I think it was. You just want to have the real turn, huh? So. Still limited. Still limited. Only want to have the real turn. Yeah, that was the direction I went. Okay. Okay, it's connecting back. And our wheel is turning back, so now we know what we did wrong. But okay, I'm gonna stop it here. We'll investigate. If you know, if you find some values that are sticking better, or post it, come in Discord, contact me, send me a mail, it doesn't matter. I hope you like it until now. Okay, it's not that it's fully 100%, but we have the basics, and it's about the basics. Like I told you before, I have my assets, you have your assets, you building that kind of game, I'm building this kind of, trying to build this kind of game. So it's really individual what you want. So save it. I'm gonna this one, not the wagon, but this one I'm gonna include as a zip file It's version 4.24 normally. If you're using another version, contact me, then I will see what I can do to provide you maybe the model. Otherwise you need to create your own model like so. You need to have a cylinder, you need to have something in front of it, and you need to have like a sphere. That is basically the attachment where you want to attach it. So it doesn't matter, right? If you want to make a block just to do test attachment, you don't need to go to all this trouble to go create it, because the attachment is done here. You can also go by just placing a cube. Then on the cube you need to enable physics. You need to, this is already correct, hold on. This is normally already correct. For our not mistaking that color, that you know, huh? That is the correct one. So if you now, you don't need to have a wagon or anything, huh? You can you see, the moment it's the physical actor, voila, and then you let it loose. I'm gonna click here, save all, save selected, close the project. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next session. Bye bye.